Uh, just a brief introduction about me. My name is Sunil. I am working as a senior software engineer in Provis Software. I have around 5 years of experience in integrations, and all of it is in MuleSoft. So I have worked as a developer. I worked as support engineer and other stuff as well. So today we'll be having that. Let me share my screen. Just give me a second. I'll just close a couple of tabs and share my screen.
Yeah, sure. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put into the chat. Me and someone are here to happy to help you with the answers. And definitely, in the middle of sometimes for a couple of questions, will take to Sunil to give the answer. But unfortunately, in the middle of the session, he will not able to see. But it's our duty to go over the questions.
Yep. Just a second. My screen will be coming up. Okay. I'm sharing my screen. Just let me know when you're able to see.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, visible.
Yep. Thank you for waiting. Yeah. Once again, welcome to this session. We'll start right away. Oops. Oops. Oops.
You have opened the
Wrong
wrong
one.
PPT, I believe.
Wrong one. Sorry. It must be somewhere.
You shared it with me, Sunil,
Yes.
yesterday.
Yes. 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 Just a second. I'll be opening it up.
If you want, I can share my
No, no, I
screen.
have it.
Okay.
Yeah. I have the correct one open now. Let me share back. Hope you're able to see now.
Yes,
Yep.
the correct one.
Yes. So this is the agenda for today. We'll see what are the available MuleSoft deployment options. We'll see what is a Mule's on-premise server. We'll see hardware, software requirements, a demo, which is the most important thing, and we'll see how to install license and how to do the runtime upgrades. And if time permits, we also see how to install endpoint monitoring, CPU affinity, and a little bit about server groups and clusters. Right. So as already spoken, these are the organizers. Thank you very much for organizing this special event, everyone. And yeah, the safe harbor statement. We are organizing this in our individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. And also, you can go through this. I don't want to bore you guys, but yeah.
Yeah. So this is a MuleSoft event. So all we know, it's a community event and the partner event, alliance event, anything you can say. But after all, it's a community event. It's not something like whatever the individual we are representing from our individual organization. Not something like that. So the main motto is kind of we need to grow, we need to learn, we need to collaborate, and we need to share together. That's the main motto. For the reason being, whatever the local groups as a meetup or different community, we are growing ourselves, sharing our thought process, and make other to learn. And implication will be there from their customer ecosystem, their own learning, and their individual organization itself. So that's the safe harbor statement anyway we are following and we should follow.
Right. And the housekeeping will have this recording uh, uploaded in the events page within 24 hours. You can ask the questions in the chat. You can ask as many as questions, and please share the feedback after the session. Yep. Okay, this is about me. Uh, as I said, I have 5 years of experience in integrations and MuleSoft, currently working as senior software engineer at Provis. Yeah, let's dive into it. What are the available MuleSoft deployment options? We have five kind of options as of now. We have CloudUp 2.0, which is behind the scenes is the Kubernetes and your clusters with the provided and maintained by MuleSoft. This is an iPaaS provided and maintained by MuleSoft, and we have CloudUp uh, 1.0, which is the first version of CloudUp, which is again maintained and managed by MuleSoft. They will the difference between 2.0 and 1.0 is I mean there are a lot of differences, but the main difference will be the architecture behind it. In the cloud up but 1.0 you'll be deploying your EC2 instances behind the scenes, and it's isolated, and you cannot scale it. And in 2.0 you have the clusters, Kubernetes, and other stuff where you can scale it according to your load. And the important one, the one that we are talking right now, is the hybrid, right? So you have in the hybrid model, you have the runtime running on your on-premise data center, or the on-premise servers, and the control plane, or the anypoint platform will be running on the MuleSoft servers, right? So you have the engine, but the other UI and stuff will be on the MuleSoft. And we have the private cloud edition, where you will have a if your requirement is to have your apps download I mean installed, or run in a cloud, but in private where private space in a cloud, where it is isolated and not accessible for others. And you have the runtime fabric. And right now, think the appliance option in the runtime fabric. That means you cannot have your own Kubernetes. You cannot have the Kubernetes installed on your servers and do that. But right now you have the bring your own Kubernetes, that is from the one of the MuleSoft approved Kubernetes servers like AKS, EKS, and others. So we'll be talking about hybrid, and specifically on the part where we install the uh, runtime engine on your server, right? Yeah. With this, I'll go ahead. What's a mule on-premise server, right? So it refers to a standalone instance that will be running on your on-premise data center, you for which you will have multiple benefits and disadvantages as well. you know th- when do you want to go to the on-premise server? When you want to have more security involved, when you want to have your applications isolated from the internet, and accessing your backend systems from your private network. And you can control, you will have more control when you're going with the on-premise server, because you can change a lot of things, and you can change the behavior of the you know uh, runtime engine basically. And as well, we have disadvantages. It will be costlier to set up the infrastructure. It will be complex as well, and the maintenance will also be high, because you will have to not only maintain the MuleSoft runtime engine, I mean upgrades and stuff, but you also have to do that for the server as well, the security patches and all other stuff. And also it's potentially slower scalability compared to cloud solutions, because you in cloud you can provision the RAM. You can basically scale vertically and horizontally, very quickly. So it will take a bit of time and effort to do that in the on premises. So these are the main and major advantages and disadvantages. With this, we'll go ahead to the next one, the hardware and software requirements, right? Basically before you install something, you will have to know what are the things that you need for that to run on your system. So you must have minimum of 2 gigahertz CPU, and 1 GB of RAM and 4 GB of storage. This is very minimum, like just to keep the runtime running. But these will be decided based on how many number of applications you're planning to deploy on the server, and what will be the load on that, what will be other architectural stuff. and we should have a minimum of 1.8 Java 8, and it supports Java 11 and Java 17 as well. And there are a wide range of ports and host names or IP addresses that are need to be allowed from your server to the internet. That means the outbound firewall needs to be allowed. That is mentioned in detail in this URL, where we can see, because there are a lot of the uh, points where you send the metadata to your manager, which is in the MuleSoft hosted environment, right? So nothing will be coming. I mean, there will be no inbound traffic to your server, obviously because of the security reasons, but there will be outbound traffic because you want to manage the server from the runtime manager or the anypoint platform, right? So uh, and I mean, if your outbound firewall is open, these things will anyhow work, but you need to make sure a couple of things. And these are the tested operating systems by MuleSoft. We have Mac, we have HP, Windows, and Solaris, RHEL, and Ubuntu. Today we'll be installing on RHEL. Yeah.
Sunil, quick thing. Could you move the mic a bit away from your face? You're breathing into it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for telling me that. Yeah, we'll dive into the demo. I will start from the scratch. I have an EC2 instance that is just started. I'll connect to it. Right. So this is a EC2 RHEL 9 with T2 medium configuration. You get the basic things for you to run your MuleSoft. Uh, I mean the software and hardware requirements, right? So now there is nothing installed on this. Before we start, we will try to install the Java, because you need Java to be running with along with the MuleSoft, right? Oops, I think I stormed it. Yeah. Um, this is the command we can use to install Java. Um, you can obviously change the versions. I'm going with the Java 8. You can install 11 and 17 as well. So let me do that. We'll say yes.
Yeah. So could please little bit increase your front size? It will be better visible for the audience.
Okay.
A little bit. Thank you.
Can I do that?
Try control scroll up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let this install. Yep. It's not working. Oh, better?
Yep.
Yes. So I have installed Java. Let me try to verify if it is installed. Java hyphen version. Right, it's installed. So now I want to know where this is installed so that I can set up the Java home environment variable which the MuleSoft will pick up. So you can use this command to see where this is exactly where the executable is. So now I have this. I'll give till here. I don't want JRE. If I go to this path and see here, I'll have a bin folder, and inside that I'll have the executable. So always when you say home, in the home path there should be a bin folder, and there in the bin folder you should have the executable. Right. So now I want to set up the environment variable, but before that, let me let me see if I have the runtime downloaded to this. Yeah, I have this. So now two things, right? You need Java, you need the Mule standalone runtime. So I just downloaded it from the official MuleSoft website. You can go ahead and download, create an account and download. No, I'm just skipping that part because it takes a bit of time to upload this to the download and upload to the server. Basically, I downloaded the 4.6.4 version. And if you have your organization credentials, you can open the help.mulesoft.com, and under the support, you can go to the downloads section of it. And under the downloads, you will have all the softwares that you are entitled to download. Not only the 4.6, you have the previous and the latest as well with patches. So yeah, now let me switch to the super user, and let me copy the zip file to the OPT. Oops, CP for copy. Sorry. Yep. Let me go to the OPT folder and see that, and let me unzip it. Yes, I have it now. So if I can go to the folder and see here, I have basically a couple of folders here. I have the bin. You will have the executables in the bin, and you have conf, which is very important. You have all the configuration files that are required for the startup of the runtime, and you have logs where you will have application as well as runtime logs, and the services and tools and other folders will have I mean apps will have the apps you deploy. You can basically deploy two ways. You can come to this path and you can drop a jar on this, and it will pick up. It will check for every 3 seconds if there is a change in the folder, and if you have a new jar or a jar that is already existing with changed configurations, it will redeploy it. Right, and same goes with the domains. You will have your domains running here. You will have your domain jars deployed into this, and the other way is to obviously from the runtime manager UI, and the policies, server plugins and libraries will have the necessary jars and other things necessary for the runtime engine to start up and run. So with that, I'm taking the current working directory as the mule home. As I said, whenever you say home, you should have a bin folder and the executable inside it, right? So I want to set up both. I want to set up the Java home and Mule home at the same time. So I'll say read link. Yeah. So now where do you set up the environment variables and make them persistent, right? So there is the file exactly for this that is under etc, and it's called environment. So when okay, let me copy this stuff. Yeah. So whenever I log into the session, this is the file that will be loaded, right? So you can have the environment variable setup here, and every time you log in, this is the thing, first thing that will be loaded, so that your environment variables will be persistent for all the applications that are running on the server. So I'll say insert, I'll say export Java home. As I said, I'll take till the home path, and I'll also say export mule home. Done. Write and quit. Let's see. Yep, they are there. So now can I see that? How to see that? Echo Java home. It's not there because I have already logged into a session and I have just given the directions to the file to load, right? But I am not yet loaded it. So I'll just exit from the super user, and I'll log back in, and I'll see. Yeah, I have it now. Right. So now with this, I'll go to Mule home. Yeah. Let's try to check if it is running in the foreground mode. I'll go to the bin. Right. So I have the uh, Mule runtime engine running in the foreground mode. That means as soon as I stop this, I mean get out of this, it will stop. You can see how it's starting. It has set the Mule home, Mule base, Java home, and others. It is invoking a wrapper, Java service wrapper provided by the Tanuki software, and it's installing the JVM, and you have the license information here. So this is an evaluation license. In your production systems or in your organization systems, you will have to get the license from your organization sales team and install it. So we'll go through that, but yeah, just good to have information. And these are all the other things that if you want to know, you can go through this. And I'm stopping it here now. Now I have the mule install, I mean mule standalone runtime engine running in the foreground mode. But how do I make it to run in the background? Right, I cannot always keep a session open, right? So for that we need to install the mule as daemon. In Linux you'll call it as daemon, and in Windows you call it as the service, right? So both you can do that. If you see in the bin directory, along with the scripts, you also have the bat files. So in Windows you use the bat files, but in Linux you use the scripts, right? um, the arguments remain same. So I'll install it. I'll say by the way, all the uh, logs will be available under the logs folder. I'll say tail, this is your runtime log. So if you can see here, whatever was deployed on the foreground, it's already available on the logs file. Okay, so now I'll install it. It's pretty straightforward. I'll say mule install. Right. So what did this do? So it uh, installed, I mean, it registered the Mule Enterprise Edition, as a daemon service with systemd, right? So now I can control. I now I don't have to come to the bin directory always. I can control it from the systemctl command. Systemctl. I can see status of. So by default, it installs with the name mule underscore ee dot service. So now if I do a status, it will show me it's inactive. I just registered that service, but I have not started it yet. So I'll start it with the help of the system ctl command. You can use start to start, stop to stop, and restart to restart it. And start. Yeah. No. So I want to see what has happened in the logs. So it says it's deployed. Log says that it is started successfully. So now I can also verify both ways. Okay, can say mule status. I'm not sure if this will work. Yeah, it is working. So you can see here it's saying it is running, and the process ID of the wrapper process and the wrapper status and the Java status, right? And you can also do the same with systemctl. Oops. Yeah, you can see it is active and running. So you don't have to have any session open for that. So this is running perfectly fine now. So let's see a couple of things now. So I have a server. I have installed the runtime, and I have it up and running in the background. So now I can directly go ahead and drop a jar on the apps or in the domains, and those projects will be automatically deployed and will be running. But I will not have the visibility in a UI. I mean, generally you'll go here and you want to see here, right? The applications, but won't be there. You will have to, let me close this. You'll have to manage the application, look at the logs, and do all of the stuff from here itself. But if you want to do that from the runtime manager, you will have to register your server with the runtime manager. So it's pretty straightforward. You'll log into your runtime manager, and you'll select your business group and the environment, because it will be binding to this. So I want to make the server available for sandbox environment in this business group. I'll say add server. I'll give a name. I'll say mule server, and here is the command. So I can copy this command. You can see it is invoking the AMC setup script with an argument h and a token. So this token is a combination of your I mean, this contains this gets generated basically with your environment ID and your business group ID, organization ID, or you can say, right? And the last argument will be a server name. So in your Linux servers, you'll give it straight away. I mean, of course, in the bin directory. And if it is your Windows server, you will have to, you know, remove this dot slash, and you can put a dot bat. So now, if I look at the logs, it says that its configuration saved successfully, and I can also see in the servers it is in the created status, right? So now it's nothing but, we have the agent installed, and that sent some information to here to register here. So it is just in the created state as of now. If you want to move from created to running state, you will have to restart your mule service. So now I'll do that with the help of system ctl command. As soon as I do that, yeah, think it's up. Yeah, it's up. So you can see it's moved from created state to the running state, and the type is gateway, and you have the Mule version, and you have the Java version. So now I can click on this server and I can get more details of this server, the status, type, agent version. Agent is the one that will talk from your server to the runtime manager, and you have the license expiration date visible over here as well, so you can keep a track of it, and you have the certificate expiration days. So now what this certificate is about. So all the communication between your server and the MuleSoft platform will be through MTLS, and there will be a server for there will be a certificate for that on your server. Now you can view this. It obviously it will have some longer expiry date, but once the date approaches, you can renew the certificate very easily. You can see the Java version here as well, and the basic overview and the breakdown, thread count, all other the old server stuff, diagnostics. And I can go to the settings, and I just wanted to show you, if I click the renew certificate, you can renew the certificate. It's very straightforward. And in the settings, you can see here, it will show you what are the applications that are deployed on the server, and the same things. Right? I have the IP address, I have the version, server, OS, and the vendor of the OS. And you can enable plugins. I'll not go into this. You can see the properties basically. If you can set up the properties here, and that will be applied to your server, and changes the behavior of your runtime. And you can also hide values, is just keep this masked, and you can click on discovered properties. It will show all the properties from your wrapper.config over here. Generally not recommended unless you don't have an access to view that from the server. And if you set up any alerts to these servers, those will be available here, like the history of the alerts. Now what did I do? I just installed the Mule application, runtime engine on the server, and I registered with the runtime manager. Now I want to see if at all I'll be able to deploy an application to the server. If at all this will reflect in the options for the deployment. So when I click on deploy application, let's deploy it. I have an API called greetings API, and under the hybrid you can see Mule server. Right, this is what the one that we have created, and I'll choose my jar. Yep, I can set up the properties and logging levels as well from here. I'll say deploy application. Let's see what's happening over here. Okay, I'm looking at this. Let's see what are all the files, log files available here. I have the domain default log file. If you have a custom domain, that will be a separate file. You have the agent log, that's the one that's talking to your runtime manager, and you have the mule ee.log, which is basically your runtime manager logs, and you will have your application logs shown here. So now I have a greetings api.log. Let me tail this and see if it is deployed successfully. Yep, so it is deployed successfully. You can see here it started. So now when I open the application, it shows me the general stuff like number of mule messages, errors, response time, and others. And I can see the flows. I can see the insights if it is enabled. So currently it's disabled. I can see the schedulers and the settings page, the generic settings page, where you can modify things. You can put alerts. You can enable logging. Right, so now this is deployed. Let me try to invoke an endpoint on this server. Basically I'm looking for the curl command. So this is the endpoint I have. I'll take the curl command. I'll say this. Yep, I got an output. Right. So this is up and running, and we have a response. So I'll go back and show you a couple of important things. We have talked about the, yeah, now let's see. I mean, what's in the apps, right? As we have deployed from the runtime manager, same thing happens. That jar will be, uploaded here, and you'll have the jar will be blasted here, and you will have the anchor.txt file. So now you can remove this anchor.txt file to, undeploy this application from the runtime server engine, or else you can go here from the runtime manager and delete this or stop it, right? So, and let me go to the conf folder. Where is it? Yeah. So if I see here, there are a lot of files. So all of these files are necessary, uh, you know, to set up and to bring up your runtime engines, and running. And if you change things here, it will change the behavior of the runtime. So you have the jks file, which will have the certificate, with that it will be able to communicate with the runtime manager. And you have the mule license key.lic file, which will have the license information, that will be used to evaluate your license. And a lot of other things, but we'll concentrate on wrapper.conf. And when I open this, I can see a lot of uh, no, variables here, right? I mean configurations. So I have the mule home, I have mule base, and lot of other configurations. So now you can, this is the generic java wrapper configuration file. So people who have already experience on working with the wrapper files and the configuration files, you know that, and you know how to use this. So basically you have the numbers mentioned here. So every configuration should be having the next n plus one, right? So if you see here, java additional configuration, you have the dot 8. Now you see it's dot 9. So it takes in the hierarchy, it loads it in the hierarchy. So you can see here, this is the main important thing. You can set up your meta space size, based on your requirements, and maximum and the minimum meta space size, so that you can avoid the out of memory error, and lot of other things as well. So this will help you to tweak according to your configuration. Basically this is the whole idea of going with the on-premise servers, right? You want to have it according to your own configuration, so that you will have maximum performance out of it. So any
Sunil,
questions?
yep,
Yeah.
I was about to say, let's take a logical pause over here to see if there are any questions by anybody.
Yeah.
Sunil, just want to know, like, okay, can we see the application logs from the console also?
No, because that's a good question. So you have just deployed your application on the runtime engine that you have created, but you're not sending anything back to the runtime manager. I mean the logs. So you are just sending metadata information, till now. But there is a way you will have to install the anypoint monitoring agent that will make the logs available from the UI. So I'll show that part
Okay,
after this. Yeah,
okay, Sunil,
that's
thank you.
possible. Yeah, thank you. So you have the, no, I just want to tell you about these files. So whenever you deploy an application, that will have its corresponding YAML file, which has all the necessary information, like if you set up some logging levels or properties, right? So those will be available here, and you can modify it directly as well. Like now, you might have got a question, right? So if I here I have an option to put properties from the UI, but how do I do it if I don't have the UI? So this is how you do it. You create the application YAML file and follow the syntax, and provide the necessary information. And the agent as well has a YAML file which will have the necessary things for it to communicate with the runtime manager, right? Any other questions?
No, I guess.
One thing, I have one question.
Yeah.
So for the custom domain URL, can you explain me like where to configure your custom domain URL for the on-premises
URL?
created?
No, domain. Here the domain is, I mean, it's a different concept. So if I say, if I go to the, okay, domains, I believe. So what happens, I mean, in the mule runtime perspective, the domain here is something you will have created same as your MuleSoft application, but you know you won't have the logic in it, but you'll have the configuration in it. For example, I say
No,
HTTP list.
no. Sorry for
Oh,
the interruption.
sorry.
His question is different. His
Yeah.
question is just like we have a vanity URL, like custom DNS and domain URL for a particular customer need. So how in on-premise for cloud of 1 and 2 we can configure over the DLB level or cloud of 2 level, right? For that shared space or private space level. In on-premise, how we can configure, how we can get a vanity domain for that particular application whenever we deploy it. That's the question.
Oh, okay. So I thought it's about this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Uh, to be honest, I have I don't have the exact information about that right
I'll
now.
take that.
Yeah.
Sunil, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So, Sudipta, basically, if you're talking about vanity domains when it comes to on-prem platform, the expectation is your customer would have their own their load balancers or their firewalls, right? So, that is where you will be using your or setting up your vanity domains, wherein using that it will come the traffic would come into your data centers. So that's if you're specifically talking about an on-premise data center. If you're talking about an instance that is deployed on cloud, like what Sunil showed, he's creating an AWS instance. So here you would have your AWS DNS controller, which will be having your custom vanity domains, and the traffic will go in and go out as you configure them.
Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
that's a very good point, Suman. Alongside that, it is purely for a north-south traffic. Whatever the north-south traffic you have, it's purely the DNS based or reverse proxy based, right? But if you have a east-west traffic, and for that you need the DNS, so for that east-west, definitely you have to configure your cluster, and there is a concept for the Hazelcast. And on the Hazelcast level, whenever you are configuring as a cluster, that cluster node, what could be your primary node from where the gateway will be segregated into east and west level. In that level, you have to predefine your certificate, what kind of certificate you are managing. It could be any kind of generic certificate for a custom vanity driven, or it's a predefined customer oriented certificate. So it's two way, how you are defining your north to south traffic or how we are defining to east to west traffic. I hope you got the answer, right? So
Got you. Got you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, no.
Yep. Thank you. Uh, if there are no other questions, I'll move ahead. Okay, I'll take that as a no. The next part, license and runtime updates, right? So now you have,
I believe we have another question
yes,
from
yes, we can
Magda.
take, we can take.
Yeah, go ahead, please. You have some
Oh,
question.
no, it was about the license, but I see that you are going to cover this topic now, so
Yes.
I can wait.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So basically, your customer relationship manager will or your sales team will go and get the license for your requirement with all the entitlements, and that license file you will have it emailed to you from Salesforce, and you can also download the same file from the support portal, the help.mulesoft.com. You can go there under the support uh, downloads, not downloads, subscriptions. You can go there, click on your subscription, and there it will show your license. I could not show you because I don't have access to one, but yeah, basically there you can download your .lic file. So either you can get it from your organization sales team or your uh, help portal, right? So the license will come with entitlements, and uh, the you should configure your server according to those entitlements, right? So for example, it says no, only two cores. You should make sure that you are only running on two cores, right? We'll come to that, but I'll show you how to verify license, how to install a license, and how to uninstall a license, right? So if I go to the in folder, I can show you how to verify an existing license. So for that, I need to stop the existing, no, stop the running service. We'll say stop. Yeah, it stopped, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, it stopped. So now I'll just simply do mule hyphen verify license. It will give me the same output that we have seen when the runtime engine starts, right? So after launching the JVM, it will always check for a license. Now you can see here, it's an evaluation license. But in case of your actual license, this will be false because it's not an evaluation license. And you'll have the expiration date. When will that expire in the UTC, and contact name and other things, and you'll have the entitlements. So here you will see if I speak about some examples, you'll see clustering, you'll see gateway. So if you don't have the clustering entitlement, you cannot create clusters, right? So all that will be available here, and this is how you verify what kind of license you have, and when it will be expiring, and what are the entitlements. Now to for example, let's say I have a license that is expiring tomorrow. I will come to my runtime engine. I'll verify license, and if I have the license file, first I will, if you want to follow the best practice, you can directly install the license. But if you want to do it cleanly, you need to uninstall the existing license first. So again, the command is very straightforward. You'll give mule uninstall license. That will remove your existing license. And also, an important thing to notice is, you go to your config folder, conf, yeah, and see that this file should not be available after you uninstall it, because this will be created when you install the license. And if this is existing, there could be some problems. So just it's a good thing to verify if this is removed. So I'm not removing it now because that will remove my entitlements, and I cannot install it again. And you can install it with help of this command, install license, and path to your license file. So now I can have the license file anywhere in the system. I just have to give the path to that file, and it will automatically install it, and it will output when again the same things, the license information. And after that is done, you can come back and see that if this file is created, and then you can start your runtime engine. So that's about license. Any other question?
Here, additional point, whatever Sunil has told, it will be very much important to understand. Let's say you have an entitled for 2 cores, 4 cores, and all these things. Alongside, you have to understand how the site quorum you have and what the site cards. Because for the, let's say you have a load balancer, just like whatever Suman told, external load balancer like A5, you have that, and you have a multi-cluster, or let's say one server do, or server group rather say, no cluster, but still you need an east-west traffic. So for that, the very much important point of how your quorum and sidecar memories consumption will be there. Let's say you have a 4 cores, and all these things will be how much, what the consumption of the particular application level, still you are calculating on that. So make sure you are good on top of that. Otherwise your whatever the tenant application might be got out, or you will get a notice from the kind of a penalized from the MuleSoft. So it's a very much maturity, you need to take a call before you do such kind of things.
Exactly. That's a very valid point, Braj. So you'll have to be very careful. You should be always within your entitlements, to avoid penalties. Right. Any other questions regarding license before I move on? Okay.
Mataya, you had a question, right? Before this, is your question answered?
Oh, I mean, uh, wanted to know how to renew and expire the license, but I think that you will provide it for the new license and just install it.
Yep. So when it comes to renewals, your sales has to connect with the Salesforce AE team. They would provide you the new license. Now, from the platform standpoint, all you have to do is you have to uninstall and reinstall the license. Basically, uninstall the existing one and reinstall the new one. That's the only step. That's it. No
Okay,
special
okay,
actions taken.
mm, got it.
But
Yes.
And
make sure before uninstall and install you have a proper DR. Otherwise it will be a big trouble. So your DR should be proper.
Yes. Yes. You'll need to stop your runtime engine, right? So you'll have a
Engine.
downtime. Yeah. So you need to have a DR, right?
and what about the certificate? How to update and like and expire the certificate just with the renew action?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
So if I come here, uh, this certificate is purely used for the MTLS, right? From
okay,
your server, you'll be sending the metadata to the runtime manager, so that you should have a certificate to encrypt the traffic in between. So you have the renew certificate option here. Right now the server is done, so that's the reason it's not showing me. Let me quickly start it. But yeah, it's just a simple step. You click on the renew certificate. Let's do it. Let's see. It will automatically create a new certificate and install it on your, put it at the necessary path on your server, so that you have a seamless connectivity.
got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So you'll click this. You're about to renew a new certificate. A backup will be created. So when I click this, it will renew the certificate. So less number of things you'll have to do in the latest uh, platforms. Yep. I believe there are no more questions on license. All right. Yep. Um, yeah. Runtime upgrade. Right. So you have you can apply a patch, as well as you can upgrade from the you know uh, minor to major. Sorry, for example, 4.4 to 4.5, 4.5 to 4.6. So you can do both. Um, for the benefit of time, I don't think I can show you this in a demo, because I need to download the patch version and I already have the latest. So there is no greater patch than that. But this is basically how you do it. You stop your Mule instance, and extract the content. You, as I said, you can go to your help.mulesoft.com under downloads. You will have all the patches, right? Every 3 months you will have a new patch, or every month, like no, whenever the cycle is, you identify the patch you want to update to, or if you want to go to the uh, you know uh, new runtime version altogether, then you will have to have the Mule update tool. I mean, you can do multiple ways, but yeah, let me first take you through the patch updates. So you'll extract it, and under the lib folder, right, you'll have the libraries, and under the libraries folder you have the patches folder. So in there and under services there will be a couple of jars. Let's see. Yeah, so if I say, yeah, so okay, so here as well as on the services directories there will be a couple of jars that are used by the Mule runtime engine, right? So now basically when you are updating a patch, that will update the jars or other files in the patches and services directory. So in case if it creates an impact, you need to have a backup so that you can revert back to the old configuration. So now, if there are any old files, obviously you have to remove those, and you can put the new patch jar file, right, into the patches, and just restart the Mule instance, and that will pick up the patch jar that you have put the latest patch jar. Sorry. So now let's say I have this distribution standalone jar file that has the Mule version 4.6.4 and the date of the patch, right? So if it is June 6, it will say 2024 6/6, right? Patch.jar. So when you put that and restart, I mean, start the Mule instance again, it will pick up the jar and place all the necessary files where they need to be, like in the services and other directories. And yeah, that will be effective once your runtime is up and running. So now you have the runtime actual runtime update. So this is the patch updates you'll do every 3 months if I'm not wrong. And if you want to move to a new runtime version altogether, like now let's say if you want to go to 4.7, so there is a upgrade tool utility provided by MuleSoft. You can download that and put it in your tools folder of this Mule home. And for that you need to provide a I'm sorry, I didn't put the detailed steps here, but yeah, uh, you need to provide only one argument over there, that is the location of your new runtime unzipped, right? So for example, I download the 4.7 from the help.mulesoft.com and put it in a folder on the server and unzip it. So I'll have to specify, for example, it will be something like upgrade tool hyphen n, and this is the nothing but the argument. It says new path. So I'll say if I have that in opt mule 4.7 folder, the new the catch here is you need to download the entire distribution of the uh, runtime engine, not just the patch or any other file. You need to download the entire distribution. It will use the entire distribution files to upgrade your current runtime engine. So if I say this, the script will take the necessary files from the latest runtime version and verify if there are any conflicts. For example, I have the wrapper.conf file. So by default, there, let's say I have the 250 megabytes of minimum heap space. Then the new one comes with 500 as minimum. So that's a conflict. So it will move to a folder. Basically, a folder will be created here in the home directory called as mule update or update folder, and inside there will be a conflicts folder, and under the conflicts you will have all the files that are conflicting with your existing configuration. You will have to review those, you will have to make changes if necessary to those files, and again you run the same command, and it will pick up the I mean, sorry, once you review it, there will be a to review folder created, and all the conflicted files will be in the to review folder. And once you review those files and make necessary changes, you will move that files to the ready folder. Right, I might be confusing you, but so basically you will have a upgrade folder here in the home page, or the home directory, and inside you will have to review where your conflicted files will be there, and along with the to review you will have ready folder. Once you review and make the changes, you will move those to ready, and you will run the same command again, and it will pick the files from the ready folder and apply it wherever necessary, and you will have your runtime updated successfully. That's one way to do it, and the easiest way to do it. And the other way is to, you can directly have the 4.7 or the other version installed, I mean running on the server, and point that to the deploy, basically deploy all your existing applications to the latest runtime engine and stop the old one. That's
Yeah,
the other way.
Sunil, sorry for the interruption. I know you were in a flow, but we have to do a time check. It's a very, very indeed and great session, deep dive. But we can allocate another session for in deep dive, whatever the residual part, like say cluster, the how the
Hmm.
latest version will be there, how we can manage, deploy, and all these things. I think that would be beneficial for both the way, from your perspective and the attendees' perspective as well.
Yeah, I think, yeah, right, I agree. Yeah, let's have questions. If you have any questions, let's take this.
Yeah.
So till here, to the till the installation and the license and the runtime upgrades. Do you guys have any questions? We are happy to take those, and we'll continue the other things in the next session.
Single question. Anything that you wanted to discuss today which has not been discussed other than this upgrade?
Yeah, so I wanted to show basically how to install the anypoint monitoring so that your logs will be available in the runtime manager or the
Okay.
monitoring.
Rajesh, I think we can,
and
extend another 5 to 7 minutes to at least bring
and
it to a logical closure.
Suman, and
Uh-huh.
I wanted to show the CPU affinity as well, the major part, right?
I believe that will take not within
Longer time.
completed in 5 to 7
Yeah,
minutes. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
longer time, I believe.
Mm.
Yeah, and alongside, it would be better in a cluster mode how it will be affected and how it's configured with the different things. How anchor file will be working, how the wrapper.conf will be there, and how the hot deployment will be working. So there is a lot more topic we can cover and like discuss in the mutual discussion. So I believe Sunil and Shuman, we can have another session. What is your suggestion?
Yep, right.
Okay.
Participant, so audience, you guys want another session?
Yeah.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, it will be better if we had another session for the API monitoring and the rest of the topic. Yeah.
Sure,
When will
then
you schedule it? Sorry, when will you schedule it?
at least a week or two from now, we'll discuss and we'll, post it in the LinkedIn and the Slack channels. You will
Right.
get to know.
So we internally
We'll,
discuss about the logistics and all those stuff, and immediately we'll publish the date. My dear, no worries. But hopefully within very short period of time.
It's fine. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Sunil. Thanks for a
Yeah,
great session and very deep dive into the individual, very granular parts and one by one single steps. It's a
yeah.
great session.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join the session.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye
Thanks
bye.
all.
Thank you, team. It's a great